I'm Michael Beers from Flagship Yacht Sales. Thanks so much for joining me on board our Grand Soleil 42 long cruise. This is a performance-oriented cruising boat that we really believe in, and I want to show you around some of the features that we really like about this boat. So starting here in the cockpit, you've got two helms, plenty of space at the pods, very easy access to the winches. All your running rigging comes back here. One electric winch, one manual winch on each side. These are perfectly positioned so that as the helmsman, as I'm driving, I can use it on the electric side, I can use it manually, and I've got a clear sight line to my head sail. All my instruments are up here within easy reach. I've got a plotter, I've got bow thruster controls, I've got my autopilot, and I've got my instrumentation. Harken hydraulic manual backstay to help you flatten out the main on a breezy day. We've got in-boom sheeting here combined with a inboard jib track on the coach roof so that you don't have to play with in-haulers to get your jib sheeted all the way in. This is going to be one of the most close-winded cruising boats you'll ever sail on. We've got a nice helmsman's bimini here. We've got a Dodger forward, and a really unique feature for Grand Soleil. There's an awning that zips into this bimini with a cutout for the main sheet. That awning extends almost all the way up to the mast. So when you're at anchor or docked in the tropics or on a summer day here in New England, you can keep all the sun off the deck and everyone can use this fantastic hangout space in shade and comfort. So in the cockpit, we've got a large table here. Very easy to get 6 or more adults seated around here for dinner. Plenty of storage in here. Great place to throw sunglasses, phones. You can also throw a bag of ice and some drinks in there. They've really thought through the running rigging, so got a little storage garage on each side. All of your tails go right down in there, and even when the cockpit cushion is in place, you'll notice it's hinged, so it pops right up. All of your clutter stays out of the way. Speaking of storage, one large hatch here. Everything that you might need to throw in here. A rolled up inflatable paddleboard, fenders, dock lines. You don't have to move your crew or your guests out of the way. You can just drop it into this locker. There's another storage locker up front that we'll look at in a few minutes. Your helmsman seats, which are an option from Grand Soleil, also very comfortable, and storage in these as well. The starboard seat has a housing for the shore power inlet, so that's concealed. Storage in there as well, and on the port side. So when it's time to get into the water or into the dinghy, you'll notice the GS has a big swim platform here. It comes up above the cockpit floor height. Wireless controller. Comes right down. You've got the port and starboard gates here, a step, a swim ladder, and of course a hot-cold swim shower. With the wireless controller, if you were to get in the dinghy and motor away, you've got your garage door opener here so you can close the hatch after you. So down here on the starboard side, we've got our engine control. That's for our Volvo 50 horsepower sail drive. That engine will propel the boat at about 7.5 knots at a very low cruising RPM. So you have plenty of upside there if you need to get home into a headwind or if you're outrunning a storm. This is really unique. It's a chain counter and a windlass control, so this will tell you how much chain you have out. You can also preset this and drop, say, 100 feet of chain at a single push button. You can program that length. And then back here, we've got buttons for our spreader lights, our cockpit lights, the swim platform, which is an electric hydraulic up-down. I think that's it for that side. Engine start-stop is here. You've got a bow thruster controller here, but on most boats we option it with a controller here where you need it, so just easy push button, and that's a retractable bow thruster, so you're not dragging that through the water unless you need it. All right, so if we move forward, you can see that the entire side deck is one flat, uninterrupted surface. It makes it very easy for your crew to get forward, very easy for kids, very easy for the water to come off the deck and drain aft. And then one other really unique feature for Grand Soleil, our lower shrouds here, instead of running all the way outboard to the tow rail and creating this area that you have to navigate, we bring our we bring the lower shroud all the way inboard, ties into a bulkhead there. It gives you a nice safe passage here with plenty to hold on to. And then you'll notice that the head sail track, the jib track, is also inboard. so you have a nice tight sheeting angle without having to worry about in-haulers. Got some very large hatches here, a recess for cushions, so you can get custom-made cushions that just fit right in here. That's a factory option, gives your crew a lot of extra lounge space. And then a few notable features here. We've got the bow prod, obviously, so a hard point there to fly a code 0 or an asymmetric sail really takes advantage of that area in front of the forestay. And in a cruising configuration, the code 0 is just a fantastic weapon, especially in lighter venues like Long Island Sound in New England. And then a really large bow hatch here. So you'll see that this is divided between a chain locker forward and a sail locker / storage area aft. So this storage locker currently has 8 fenders in it, and there's room for more. There's a stainless steel bar to tie things off. You could easily get a kite and a snuffer stored in here, or maybe a bricked head sail stored in here. There's steps to get you down below. I also like this as a place to put extra fenders and dock lines, again, so you're not moving your crew out of the way in the back of the boat. Here's our windlass controller here to go with the controller aft, and you'll notice that our furler is a below deck furler so that you have the maximum amount of foot of the jib on deck. So Grand Soleil gives you the option of in-mast furling or a traditional mainsail. For our stock boat, I chose a traditional mainsail to maximize the performance. This is the taller rig and rod rigging, and this has the Harkin switch track. I really like this feature. It keeps your stack height with the mainsail very low. So as the cars come down, this track splits them, so they're staggered. And when the sail's all the way down, the headboard is about here, rather than another 10 inches above that. We did this boat with lazy jacks and a traditional sail cover. So the sail comes down, the lazy jacks keep it on the boom, you zip on the sail cover, and you're done. All right, now that we've seen everything this boat can do on deck, let's take a look down below and see how comfortable she is as a cruising boat. So in my opinion, it's just getting harder and harder to find a builder who is willing to commit to using quality materials that will last and give the boat a truly luxurious high-end feel. And that's one area where Grand Soleil has just really excelled. So excellent choice of woodwork here. All the finishes are very nicely done and great amount of space. To me, it's just the right combination of volume and storage. So we've got a big owner's cabin up front, an island berth, about 6'3" or 6'3.5" of headroom in the owner's cabin. You have 2 large cabins aft with enough storage and elbow room that an adult couple could actually live in one of those cabins for a week. Big overhead hatches, one opening aft, one opening forward, so no matter what the wind is doing, you can create some airflow. And then the sky screens, so if you want to block out all the sun, you can do that. Port and starboard, we have the opening port lights here, and again, more options for shade and privacy to enclose the boat and keep the sunlight out. This table in the open position here, plenty of room for 4 or more adults. You can close the table and lower it. There's an insert cushion that creates a large double berth here. Also makes a great sea berth. You've got a proper switch panel here and a nav station. Our SiMarine panel is a NEMA interfaced monitor for voltage, tank level, fuel consumption, and you can connect that right to your chart plotter if you want to keep an eye on those things. You can also connect it to your phone. Why don't we take a look at the engine? So opening up the engine space, you really start to see that from a structural and mechanical point of view, Grand Soleil is really taking their time to do everything right. Plenty of room in this engine room. You have access port starboard and under the companionway. You'll notice the quality and thickness of the sound insulation. That makes a huge difference in the noise level that you do hear when you are using the motor. The Volvo 50 horsepower sail drive will propel the boat at about 7¼ knots at around 2,300 RPM, with the ability to top out over 8 knots if you need to outrun a storm or get in before dark. In the galley, it's a step-down galley, again, taking advantage of plenty of headroom. We've got a double stainless steel sink here. Nice little drained storage area for sponges and dish soap and other things that might go flying when you tack. Under the counter here, a large 12-volt refrigerator. A little bit more storage beneath my feet. That's great for water bottles, anything that is unbreakable can live in there. And then a propane 2-burner stove and oven. Again, lots of storage here. There's an option to do a second refrigerator that would live in this space. There's also an option to do a microwave, which would live in this space. And I'll step out of the way. You can check out the aft cabin. As I mentioned before, in the aft cabin, you've got plenty of room for an adult couple to spend a week joining you on a cruise. You'll notice multiple opening hatches and port lights and the fixed hull windows to give you a lot of airflow and a lot of light in this cabin. So the separate shower in this head is even larger than the forward shower. All right, let's check out the owner's cabin forward. I really think this is the best cabin you're going to find in any cruising sailboat at even up to 45 feet. So large island berth, high quality mattress in all the cabins. You got the hull windows, port and starboard, another large overhead hatch. You have storage underneath here. You've got a place to sit and get dressed under sail. Huge lockers here, hanging locker and shelves, and then all around side lockers here that will make it easy to get all your gear aboard for a 10-day family cruise. And then to top it off, dedicated ensuite head and shower. It's an electric head, a partition for the shower, all in the privacy of the master cabin. Thanks for joining us to take a look at the 42 Long Cruise. You can learn more about the full Grand Soleil line at flagshipyachts.com. We're proud to be the exclusive dealer for Grand Soleil from New Jersey to Maine. We know these boats well. We sail the performance and long cruise version, and we'd be happy to tell you more about them.